What's up, guys? I am pokeaimMD, and today we're going to be discussing the new information that we got for Pokemon Sun and Moon. I know I'm a little bit late on this. I woke up early, I saw the stuff, I got hype, and I fell back to sleep. So, I have EMVEE here with me today. You can say hi.
What's going on, guys? I also saw the thing as soon as I woke up. I saw the video. I was like, "Ooh, what is this?"
It got me so hyped, bro. But it's just like my energy, just like it got me hyped. But like I stood up in bed. I just couldn't make the video. I tried. I left my computer on last night too. That way I could kind of make the video.
I could just imagine tired Joey just like look at it and just get up on his bed and stand up. He's like, "Yay!"
I looked at my phone. I looked at my phone. It fell on my face this morning while I was looking at it. I was like, "Crap!" But first off, we have Silvally, which is the evolution and the English name of the evolution of type Null. And I want to talk about its ability real quick, the RKS system. I love how that sounds, RKS system. I love how they actually play it on Arceus, or Arceus is how, well, it's how they pronounce it, but I pronounce it Arceus. But the RKS system, it's really cool. And we're actually going to read up about it real quick. When Type Null gains a partner it can trust, it literally destroys the restraining device it wears. Once released from that heavy mass, the Pokemon's speed increases substantially. So we already know it's going to have a lot of speed as it releases itself. Freedom restraining effects of its mask, Silvally's senses are heightened and it reverts to its natural temperament. It has a wild nature, but it will obey a trainer that it trusts. And to protect that trainer from danger, it will put its own life on the line. Silvally is said to have been created to pose a threat.
Right, is Arceus.
Yep, exactly. Or just mythical Pokemon in general, but we're pretty positive it's Arceus. They hinted at that so many times. Its ability is literally called the RKS system, and this next part talks about that. But it says, by inserting exclusive items into the drive on Silvally's head, its RKS system, I just love saying that, can be activated, causing Silvally's somatic cells to mutate and to glow. The RKS system enables it to change its type, and its cells glow with different colors of light depending on its type. Silvally's ability is called the RKS system ability, which no previous Pokemon has ever had. Sure. If you're sure, okay. By having Silvally hold items that correspond to each Pokemon type, it can change its own type. Multi-attack is a move that only Silvally can learn. Okay, yeah, Judgment. That doesn't. And this move's type changes based on which type-related item Silvally is holding. So, what do you think about Silvally, bro?
So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, it's not the first of its like kind in terms of the plates it's holding or like the type changes, and of course the signature move that it gets, which depends on the plate or the drive that it holds. I feel like people in the Alola have never been outside.
They don't know about Arceus, bro. They don't know about.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, I could see this Pokemon. I don't know if I could see it in OU, just to be honest, because of how like powerful it looks. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
like, what do you think?
Even if it has base 100 stats across the board, which I kind of doubt because it has monster speed. It said, even if it had base 100 stats, let's say it's like Mew Jirachi level, the ability to have stab on any type and learn potentially any move, because I think it's going to be like sort of like Mew, like it can learn any TM, any HM, anything like that. Just because if it changes its type, it can. And it's probably going to have extreme speed and Swords Dance. We talked about it a little bit yesterday in the discussion, but now we're going to talk about this and more. We obviously have the English translation and stuff like that, but I really do think having some sort of E-Killer in OU would kind of be ridiculous to deal with. Because we already know that priority goes over Brave Bird, Ice Shard, Bullet Punch, Aqua Jet, just to name a few. And just having that, plus probably its ridiculous bulk, even having base 100 bulk is crazy for a setup mon.
Plus it'd be so hard to like actually like deal with it. It would fit so well on teams just because of how you can make it any type you want.
Exactly. Sort of like pretty much Arceus to a lower extent, but I can definitely see this thing going back up to OU, or excuse me, to Ubers, or being banned, or something about it. Definitely being suspected. I couldn't see it actually staying in OU, because even if we try to adapt to it, it's kind of hard. You're adapting to literally 18 Pokemon in one. Just because if there becomes a standard set like the SD Silvally, the E-Killer Junior, if you want to call it that, whatever it is, fake E-Killer, even in that like sense, like that's only one set that might be standard because it might be good, but that doesn't mean that's the only good set it has. So something like Silvally, I couldn't really see be OU. Yesterday I talked about it, but like I thought about it a lot more. I think it'd just be broken. Like
I think so too, yeah. Like just the ability to have so many different types. Plus, like the standard E-Killer is not even like the only set you can run. You can run like special attacking sets and all that kind of stuff with
support
different
sets,
types.
Yeah, and they're all deadly in their own ways. So next up, I want to talk about. I think I want to talk about Alolan Muk first. Because
Alolan Muk. All right, let me skip to that one real quick.
I actually love it. I actually just showed everything, but we have the video right here. But I'll just exit out the video. My bad. My video.
Yeah, what do you think, man? It looks like a radioactive.
Bro, it looks like when I was 4 and I put all my Play-Doh in the exact same cup. Like this is what came out. It actually.
When I was four, I ate Play-Doh.
Okay, thank you. But I actually like its design a lot more than Grimer's. I love that how in the video itself it was like changing colors throughout the entire thing, kind of like a rainbow. Kind of like, you know, when there's like dirty water on the floor and the sun reflects it, how it looks. Yeah. So sort of similar to that. Love how it has some sort of rocks. And it has really cool abilities being Poison Touch and Gluttony. We already know it's Poison and Dark. That's very good typing. That's only weak to ground, as far as we know right now. It's only weak to ground. And though I kind of doubt we're getting another type. But it's only weak to ground. And Poison couples really well with Dark because everything that takes on Poison doesn't really take on Dark as well unless it's like Steel typing. And even then, Steel doesn't resist Dark as much. And actually, in the video itself, we saw Muk using Crunch, if I'm not mistaken. That was a move that Muk previously could not learn.
Yeah, so the Pokemon will be probably getting some new moves. A lot of these Pokemon.
And Poison Touch gives you, I believe, a 30% chance to poison with every contact move you make. So not only Poison Jab or Gunk Shot, but like
like Poison Jab actually, like with Poison Jab plus Poison Touch, you get like a nice 50-something% chance.
Does it really double? Does it really double?
Yeah. It becomes 50-something, so it's like Poison Jab is like 30, and then Poison Touch is something else, so it becomes like 50-something.
Well, isn't Poison Jab like 2 or 10? Excuse me, I said 2. No,
I think Poison Jab is.
You can check it up on Showdown. You can check it up on Showdown.
Yeah, let me
but
check that.
In any case, like giving this thing Crunch is so spammable too. Just the ability to poison something, even if something like a Fairy type comes in, which I could kind of doubt that because you're Poison and Dark, so a Fairy type wouldn't really come in. But let's give the example of Rotom Wash right now. Rotom Wash is one of the most physically bulky Pokemon. Or actually, I'm gonna give you a better example, 2 better examples: Landorus Therian form and Hippowdon. Both are Pokemon that come in on Poison and Dark types frequently, whether it be Bisharp, or just any physical Poison type attack. In general, like I could see them coming in on Muk, but to Crunch them and to actually be poisoning them while using Crunch, that just gives you a lot of potential to wear it down for, you know, said partners. Did you look up Poison Jab?
Yeah, it's a 30% chance.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're gonna read up about Alolan Muk real quick. Alolan Muk eats whatever it is in reach without pausing. That's my boy. And if it feels the sharp pangs of hunger, it runs amok. It looks like EMVEE, use Muk and make the title, it runs amok. I run amok.
I was actually thinking that was actually the first thing that came to mind because I actually have a Muk team I was trying out lately, earlier.
I actually want to skip down to the bottom, but it's brought about by Chemical Change. What's going on with the garbage in Alola? Like, for real. On the real. Why is it changing all these mons? Why is everything becoming Dark type? We have this, we have Rattata. There are rumors about Coughing and Arbok, though not necessarily Dark type, but it has the same poisonous crystals as Alolan Grimer, but they're not limited to its mouth. They extend from all over the surface of his body. Alolan Muk uses them to attack, just like other Pokemon use their fangs or claws. And these highly toxic crystals are easily knocked loose, making them extraordinary. I don't know. Extraordinary. I don't know why I read it like that. Dangerous. The Grimer and Muk in the Alola region produce and store their toxins within their bodies. So unlike the Grimer and Muk in other regions, you won't detect any unpleasant aromas when you draw near. That's actually really cool. I remember in the anime itself, like when Muk and stuff was around, you can smell them coming. But this one,
you can smell them from a mile away.
I can't. I'm actually gonna be using. I'm definitely gonna be using this mon. I love the way it looks. Any other thoughts, competitive wise, about it?
Competitive wise, I mean, I could definitely see this thing. I don't know if it'd be OU. I mean, definitely we'd see it in OU for some time. Yeah, probably. I mean, it might drop down to like UU or something.
Maybe we should like stray away from like tiering per se because everything's gonna change. We don't know how moves will change.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Will change. But like just based on what you think it will learn, the movesets in general.
Okay, yeah. So like, I mean, I definitely see it learning Poison Jab because with Poison Touch, you get the nice, really nice Poison chance. Each time you use Poison Jab. I could definitely see this with a Dark Stab move with like Crunch or something because that is one of the new moves it gets. I could see a coverage move like maybe Ice Punch or something.
Yeah, it does have access to Ice Punch.
Yeah, even like Ice Punch, even a mix set for instance with like Fire Blast or Giga Drain or something like that. Because I know the Muk that I've been running now it's been like Assault Vest or either Assault Vest or Black Sludge with like a mix set in order for me to hit physical walls like Skarmory while also hitting I guess special walls with like Poison Jab and stuff like that and Crunch. Well, Crunch for the Alolan form. But that's what I'm thinking right now. Yeah,
and I could definitely see, because Muk also, I don't know if this one will have it, but Muk also has access to Shadow Sneak through breeding, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And even Shadow Sneak, you have a priority move that has a chance to poison, is sick. Like, you could just go for it. And I love that. I love that chance. And even Muk also learns Explosion. So that's another cool thing that Muk can do. Well, we'll
Does
see
it
how
actually?
does. Yeah, it does. It does learn Explosion. So next up, we have the evolution of Cutifly, Ribombee, if I'm not mistaken. That's how you pronounce it?
It is Ribombee, yeah.
Yeah, it is Bug and Fairy with the abilities Honey Gather and Shield Dust. Honey Gather isn't really too useful in battle, but Shield Dust is actually pretty cool because what it does is it gets rid of the added effects of moves. So for example, if I spammed 100 Scalds versus this Mon, I wouldn't burn it. Excuse me. Wow. My throat,
I don't think you can live 100 Scalds.
Yeah, bro. I feel like I just launched 100 Scalds. I'm so thirsty right now. It just happened. If something launched Scald at this or something's going for Thunderbolt, there's no chance to burn. There's no chance to para. But let's read up about it real quick, and then we'll talk about its typing, how that might be good or bad. Ribombee collects flower, nectar, and pollen to make into balls known as pollen puffs. These serve as food, and what more, they can cause effects like paralysis or dizziness. So I'm assuming it's going to have some sort of attack like pollen puffs, and that will actually have the effect to paralyze you or confuse you. Hold up, that's kind of crazy.
So it's not like tri-attack, but it's like a dual attack with paralysis and I guess it's kind of like maybe like an Ice Fang with like flinch and freeze chance or something, like dual.
I can see that. I can see that.
Dual possibility.
Ribombee may use puffs to strike their opponent during battle. Some of the pollen puffs that Ribombee may also have relaxing effects or can relieve tiredness. Okay. So
wait,
maybe
like
a present type, either that or either a present type of thing, or they're just describing it just in general, like what people might use it for. Yeah, next sentence pretty much. These are distributed around the Alolan region as high-priced supplements. So yeah, so something like that. Ribombee hate getting rained on. They're covered with their fluffy hairs that hold the pollen they've gathered, and the rain makes them wet and dirty. Alolan people know that if Ribombee are busily visiting the fields of flowers, you can be sure that the fair weather will continue. Okay, so Bug Fairy. Interesting typing.
Yes.
Offensively, Bug doesn't do anything for Fairy. At all. Fairy doesn't hit super effective on poison, on steel, on fire. Bug doesn't.
And neither does
Bug.
This thing is, you're probably going to see this thing getting completely walled by Heatran.
Yeah. On top of that, Bug just gave it a weakness to fire.
Yeah. And plus, it has a Stealth Rock weakness now.
Exactly. Now it has a Stealth Rock weakness. Poison already made it weak to steel, as well as poison. Fairy, excuse me, made it already weak to steel, as well as poison. And now it's also weak to flying, rock.
Yep.
So it's kind of tough. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like the bugs of any generation. They're pretty subpar. You can probably use them in lower tiers. I mean, Beedrill was nothing until it got. Wow, my voice is really I'm really thirsty. But Beedrill was really nothing until it got Mega Evolution. But I mean, there were examples of like Toxic Spike Endeavor sets, things like that.
Yeah, like who knows? This thing might get like Quiver Dance or something.
Exactly. And Quiver Dance could be really cool, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the final evolution.
This looks like, I think this is the middle, right? The middle evolution.
It looks like, yeah, exactly. So it might evolve again. So, but competitive wise, Bug and Fairy isn't the best at typing. I mean, an immunity to Dragon is always cool. Definitely. But Bug doesn't really add anything to that. So I don't know. Like, as far as I know, I'll couple this right now at least. Again, my knowledge is limited on the game. We got so much information throughout the past few months, but we know nothing about the game, like on the real. So I don't even know how the gyms are gonna be. The chalk.
Not even gyms. What do you call it?
The chalk captains and like the kahunas and things like that. But just Bug and Fairy. Bug doesn't really do anything for Fairy type. But moving on, we have the evolution of Jangmu, which is Hakamo-o or Hakamo-o.
Which one?
The
second one.
Yeah, you can talk about it, bro, because I actually talked about it a lot yesterday.
Okay, so I mean, this is the second one in the evolution of 3, right?
Yep.
So, it's Dragon Fighting. That's actually a really, really cool typing.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's weak to flying, like Brave Bird spam from Talonflame and stuff, it's so cool because like I'm reading through this thing right now. You want me to read it?
Yeah, you can read it, bro, if you want.
Okay. When a Jangmo-o evolves into a Hakamo-o, okay, I regret reading this now, into Hakamo-o, it breaks from its fellows and begins to live on its own to train itself. Wherever it can find Pokemon to battle against, it seems to appear. Hakamo-o dances. So, see that keyword there? Dances. So
before battle, the show is Trev.
What move do you know about that dances?
Dragon dance, bro. I know you're talking
Dragon
about
dance,
that.
yeah. Well, also sword dance. This thing could be a nice wall breaker. Look at this thing, Dragon Fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Be a nice wall breaker. Anyways, when this dance reaches its climax, Hakamo-o bellows a fierce war cry to challenge its opponent. Ooh.
Okay.
Who else knows who emits a fierce war cry? pokeaimMD. Cypher 2016.
Okay, anyway, going on. This is an educational video, okay.
Yeah, alright. Its scales make for fine armor, so Hakamo-o does not worry about self-defense. Choke there.
Yeah, I told you, bro. I don't know why. This reading this just making me die.
Self-defense, as it makes multitude of strikes and overwhelms its opponent. But as a result, its scales often become damaged and get torn off. They throw back immediately, so this does not cause Hakamo-o undue concern. In fact, it views the number of lost scales as proof of how ferociously it has fought, and it brandishes its bared arms in a boast of victory. So we know this thing is powerful.
Yeah,
right? It's got bulletproof, it's got soundproof.
And soundproof is pretty cool because you obviously block Hyper Voice from Gardevoir. Unfortunately, with Dragon and Fighting, you're weak to Side Shock. From there, I don't want to talk too much about this one competitively because we do have the evolution, and I feel like we'd have the same talk. So why don't you take that one over too, bro?
Yeah, so okay, look at this thing, right? So it's still got the same abilities, nice and power. Look at this, it's a monster.
Yeah.
This thing has armor. Do you want me to read the thing?
Yeah, Kommo-o, you can read about it.
At the end of its harsh training, Hakamo-o evolves into its overwhelmingly powerful form.
Overwhelmingly powerful form.
It returns to the land of its birth, where it watches over the Jangmo-o from a distance. There's a legend that says, Kommo-o is covered in glittering scales in order to drive away a great darkness covering the world. The reason these Pokemon seek out battle is to gain the power needed to defeat the darkness. When it detects someone approaching, this Pokemon rings the scales on its tail to announce its presence. It has no desire to battle against weak Pokemon.
Oh my god.
Just like me, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Kommo-o's greatest move is the uppercut. It swings its arm up from below in a punch of great skill and force, sending its foe flying into the sky. By raising its arms aloft, it can generate a force powerful enough to change the face of its surrounding landscape. Changing scales is a move that only Kommo-o can learn, so it's a new move.
Clanging scales.
Oh, clanging scales, okay. Yeah. It scrapes the scales, covering its body against one another, attacking with a great clamor. After using this move, Kommo-o's defense is lowered.
So kind of similar to close combat, right?
Well, only defense, it says, not special defense. So maybe like a hyperspace.
Okay, I can see something like that, definitely like that, and it would be like a physical, probably, or I don't know if it's physical or special, but it'd be like a, because I know we saw it on the trailer, but that doesn't necessarily tell us what it is. But attacking with a great clamor against the body, so I'm assuming it's physical. But it's kind of like a dragon move that it's probably gonna be strong, one at that, but it's probably stronger than Dragon Claw. So I can tell you, I'm thinking it might be stronger than Dragon Claw, because otherwise why would you use something like that lowers your defense, right? But it's probably somewhere between Dragon Claw and Outrage, so it's a move that maybe a Dragon Dance one can use without locking itself into that move. And this Pokemon has scales. I can see it having Poison Jab, I can see it having Iron Head or Iron Tail to deal with fairies. Couple that with fighting coverage as well. That's pretty sick on a setup sweeper. Of course, we mentioned yesterday that if this had been Gen 4 and below, this typing would have been ridiculously broken. But with the introduction, maybe Gen 5 and below actually. Yeah, Gen 5 and below, this typing would have been ridiculously broken. But with the introduction of Fairy type, with Pokemon like Aegislash, the entire Aegislash line, Aegislash the Blade, even Honedge would wall this thing. There's no move, like, unless it's like 4 attacks, there's no move that I can use if it's using Dragon Dance to touch both like Fairy types like Sylveon, Clefable, and Aegislash as well. Because it would need Dragon Dance setup, it would need Fighting, it would need Dragon, right? And then your last move would either be Poison, Steel, or maybe Earthquake, something like that.
Yeah, I could see this thing getting Earthquake potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it goes over to the returns to the lands of its birth. It's definitely like a land creature. But yeah, in any case, I think it's really cool. Competitive wise, I love Dragon and Fighting coverage, great offensive coverage. Couple that with some ground type coverage, some poison type coverage, some steel type coverage. Any of those, great mon. Probably a wall breaker that we'll be seeing in wherever it's being played. Not necessarily in the OU tier, but wherever this Pokemon is being played. So really cool mon, and I love the way it looks. Well, I actually love its evolution more, or its pre-evolution more, just a bit. But
you actually?
I do, but you know, after a couple of days of looking at this Pokemon, I think I love it more. I love it more. It's actually really cool. I love the way it's designed. It looks like it's gonna be very, very defensive as well as very offensive, like very strong and very bulky. That's
I can see that. I mean, we have bulletproof, right? So it's gonna be able to actually. It could switch into Ferrothorn's Gyro Balls and stuff.
Exactly, and so that's what I talked about too. It could set up on Ferrothorn's Gyro Balls too. Only thing would be like what, Leech Seed and maybe Thunder Wave, things like that. But even then, like Ferrothorn is scared from the fighting coverage. So really cool for a dragon to finally be getting fighting coverage. Next up, How do you pronounce this Pokemon's name? Is it Steenee?
Let's see. I think it's Steenee. Steenee.
Okay, someone will correct us in the chat, but we have a new grass-type Pokemon, the Fruit Pokemon with Leaf Guard and Oblivious. Two abilities, really.
Yeah.
Leaf Guard is, doesn't matter.
I think it's like, it prevents status in the
status
sun.
in sun. And Oblivious means what? You can't be confused. Or Taunted, which is, I guess, cool.
That could be cool, as like some sort of a Pokemon. Maybe this has like, I don't know, maybe Wish or something.
Yeah,
or
but it is the evolution of Bounsweet, if you guys didn't know. It is the evolution of the little fruit Pokemon thing. But the Calyx on Steenee's head is harder than Bounsweet's. So Steenee, I really don't know if I'm pronouncing. I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong, right?
Steenee?
Yeah, either
no, just say it like that.
Right.
That sounds good. Steenee and Bounsweet.
Okay. So Steenee no longer worries about being stabbed by other Pokemon. As Bounsweet, this Pokemon may have preferred to run away from others, but now Steenee and other Pokemon can play together. Upon evolving, this Pokemon's fragrance becomes even more delectable, but it also gains a tomboy-like personality. Living together with one is quite the ordeal. As it moves around, it spins the calyx, striking nearby objects, but Steenee couldn't care less. Steenee unleashes a combo of moves using the calyx on his head. That's how you pronounce that, right? Calyx? I think?
Calyx, yeah.
Yeah. On its head and its hard legs. First, it smacks opponents with the calyx on his head, and when the opponent flinches, it lands a whacking great kick. That usually does the trick. Now, again, I don't want to talk too much about this. I do love the way it's designed. It kind of reminds me of the Gothorita line.
Yeah.
Gothitelle line. It kind of reminds me of that. But we do have the evolution of that, which I think is just a little bit cooler. And that's Tsareena right here.
It's a lot cooler. Look at this ability, Queen Majesty.
Look at
Queenly Majesty.
This thing is thick. Okay?
Yeah.
Look at that waist. Nice and clean. Now, this thing is definitely something to talk about. It is a pure grass type. Again, so grass, being pure grass is never terrible, per se. Really depends on what you have, because you don't have any of those 4 times weaknesses. You are obviously weak to poison, flying, ice, to name a few, bug, fire. Yeah, but...
Yeah.
I mean,
But with this pure grass, now you're resistant to ground, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it does have a new ability called Queenly Majesty. Why don't you read up about this, and then I'll talk about Queenly Majesty a bit.
Alright, so... How do you say this?
I think it's Tsareena. I'm pretty sure I think the T is silent.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, though.
Alright, Tsareena has the nature of high-class nobility. Any Pokemon or human that approaches it with an evil mind will be punished forthwith. It even turns its fearsome glare upon its own trainer if the two of them are not fully... Whoa! Okay. Okay, Charizard. or if its trainer orders it to use a move that will be ineffective. Only the strongest of Steenee's are able to evolve. When this happens, the Steenee evolves with the blessing of other Steenee. Then it uses its strength to protect the Bounsweet.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I gotta get used to these names, man. Tsareena is a high-kicking virtuoso. It has honed the skills beyond the level it has achieved, and Steenee and its attacks with graceful movements. At the same time, its fragrance mesmerizes its opponent, dealing them a secondary attack. Trope kick.
It could be Trope.
Trope kick. I'm gonna call it Trope kick because Tropius is a move that only Tsareena can learn. It lowers an opponent's attack by showering it with a blazing hot kicks in a similar style to that originating from tropical countries. It's said that this Pokemon loses its strength if touched on a crown-like protuberance on its head.
I wanna compare that. I'm pretty sure Trope Kick is Grass Kick, pretty much like a Grass Kick type of thing.
Yes.
And it does lower your attack, so I'm assuming it's gonna be the same type power as Play Rough, because Play Rough also has it is pretty much a fairy like punch type of thing, or fairy, and it does have that same lowering your attack. So that's pretty cool that we finally have something like a Grass Kick going around. So like grass types now don't have to worry about. I'm assuming it's gonna be stronger than Seed Bomb. And that's why it has this type of kick. But yeah, you can keep going, bro.
Some Tsareena have the ability, have the Queen Majesty ability, which no other Pokemon has previously had. The effects of Queen Majesty are so intimidating that it prevents opponents from using priority mode. So kind of like that fish, right?
Very similar, very similar to that fish. Pretty much, I think what they were going for with this is Queenly Majesty, ladies first type of thing. I'm the queen, I do what I do, you follow me type of thing. So with this, it blocks priority, and that's really cool considering if a Talonflame does not have Flare Blitz, it cannot hit this Pokemon with Brave Bird. That's really
that could
cool.
be so cool.
That's actually really cool too. This thing could be a 100% check to Belly Drum Azu because it can never be +6 Aqua Jetted, put in range of that. I really do like that ability a lot better than Leaf Guard. Leaf Guard only protects you from status under Sun. That's really situational. And Queenly Majesty is just cool in general because it blocks priority.
Just imagine like running a Sun team with this thing, and then you're up against that one standard bulk up Talonflame or some Spadef Talonflame.
Yep.
It can't burn you, and it can't it can't use acrobatics or brave bird.
Well, it can't burn you. You can't have Leaf Blade.
No, with Leaf Guard.
You can't.
Oh no, right, my bad.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, if this grass type gets any type of coverage, like Rock Slide, for instance, that would definitely be sick on this type of thing. But I definitely get what you're getting though, or you're getting at that. This thing stops like Talonflame from Brave Birding out cold, and I love that the fact that we have this, and I really have to remember the abilities, the names of the Pokemon. Like,
oh yeah, like it's gonna take me. I feel like it's gonna take me so long to like remember all of these.
I don't know, but once I'm playing through the game, it'll be a lot easier. I might not nickname my Pokemon at first because I'll forget their names.
Same.
I know which one you're talking about though, the one with the jaws, and I know the name at the top of my head. Here it is, Bruxish. Yeah. With the dazzling ability that Brock's priority, but I really
just had a moment where I just thought it could get 2 abilities.
Yeah, don't worry, dude. Don't worry about it, bro. But I love how it has a little crown on its head, type of that, and it's like royalty. And I do love the idea of Queenly Majesty, where I go first. I don't care about you. I'm the queen.
So that's a really cool concept. Definitely
open
a really
the door
cool
for
concept.
me. Yeah, exactly. I love the naming of it. And I think that's all the Pokemon that we really got revealed. I mean, Grimer I talked about yesterday. I do want to talk about one more thing, and I thought that was super cool. Power up, Mega Kangaskhan's Parental Bond ability. The power went down from 1.5 times to 1.25.
Yup.
So 1/4 from 1/2, and that's really cool. Obviously, Mega Kangaskhan can still attack twice, right? With Parental Bond, Power Up Punch, and get the boost, but it is severely weaker. Which for OU, I could see it definitely being tested. Probably still be ridiculous just because, again, it gets that Swords Dance for attacking for no reason, and it still just gets boosted attacks. It's not necessarily a Choice Band anymore, a little bit weaker than a Life Orb, but still, it gets off extra attack. And obviously having ridiculous stats as well. It's really bulky, but I think it's so cool to talk about that, especially in VGC, because a lot of Pokemon were Eevee to be able to take, Kangaskhan's Double Edge, and things like that. And now, the stress of that isn't there as much anymore. So, I think that's really cool. Yeah. To talk about. But do you have anything else to add, buddy?
I'm excited, man. Like, I'm excited for these new Pokemon. Like you said, I mean, we still don't know much about how the game is going to be itself. Yep. We know some of the Pokemon, and I feel like there's just going to be so much more to come.
Exactly.
Like, they've only revealed, like, literally the tip of the iceberg right now.
Exactly. We know nothing about the story, and I am so hyped for this game. I legit am. I can't wait for the demo. I can't wait to play the Mons on Showdown. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. You can check out my boy EMVEE. His link will be down below, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye, friends.